Hey, Mark, should we admit people into the call?
Not yet. Maybe let's wait like another 60. Actually, you know what? It's 10 a.m. Sure. Because the
Okay, yeah,
first
it
10
says-
minutes is just intro and waiting for everyone. You're able to make Dan an admin?
I made all of us are hosts. Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Let's see. Now, you never seen one of these guys on a Zoom before. Oh, we started. It's 10:01. I gotta change. Don't worry.
Just don't do it in front of the camera like the reporter from CNN.
I saw that.
No, it's okay. As you can tell, I'm wearing the New York Yankees cap. So, try and target this over here. So if anyone has any calls or texts, they want to leave an anonymous question, you can reach me at 631-839-3748 during the Zoom. I'm going to go check my phone. Listen, it's okay because I'm answering you. So I'm going to check my phone and I'm going to see what questions you have. And we'll then switch to the end of the Zoom with a 403 and obviously, a winter cap because I'm in Canada. How many people we have?
5, including us.
Wow. Okay, so we're almost halfway there.
You've got it recording, right?
Yes, I do.
Wonderful.
How's everyone's morning going so far?
Well, it's a lot more afternoon for Dan, I think, than us, right?
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. here, so
We're like all over the world. You have me in Calgary, Michael in New York, you got Dan wherever the heck he is, and you have Mac in Montreal, right? Or Toronto?
Toronto.
Toronto, very nice. This is the gifting expert, everyone. Michael, he's the one who gave me the advice on the gift I sent to your home.
All those beer-related items.
Next time you're gonna get a beer cookie.
Okay.
You get drunk when you eat it.
That wouldn't be so bad.
This is a good morning, that's for sure. Let's see.
Thank you for the plug, Mark.
You're very welcome. And you can check out Mac at Gift Assist. He's on Instagram. You can find him on LinkedIn and Facebook. Check him out. He offers the best services for gifting your clients, friends, and family for any occasion, big or small.
Cool.
Thank you, especially with the holidays coming up, right? So
See,
2 months away.
Big talker here. Okay.
But who's counting, right?
Wait, didn't we just have holidays? Aren't we done?
Well, the Jewish holidays, yeah. Now we have
that's a good
Hanukkah,
point.
we have the Xmas holiday.
That's a good point.
Well, we had Thanksgiving here in New York in 3.5 weeks.
Are you excited?
Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Lots of turkey. I got my smoker that I just bought. We'll try a turkey on the smoker this year.
Oh, nice.
Hello, Derek. Welcome in.
In 5 more minutes, we're going to start. Right now, it's just intros to guess. So we just introduced Mike. Who else just joined?
Derek Mullins is here. He does marketing for a law firm here on Long Island. We've spoken several times about his family connections in the legal business.
Very cool. What's his focus? Is he's able to respond, Derek? Or not? Listen, Derek.
I
say
gotta
what you
unmute
do.
him.
You can also text or call me at 631-839-3648. You could ask your anonymous questions. If you have a question for Michael Beer and you don't want him to know that you have a question, or for Daniel or for myself or any of our guests, please reach me at 631-839-3748 on WhatsApp or text. Thank you so much. I'm going to sit down.
Derek's unmuted now.
Derek, talk to us, legal marketer. Or don't talk to us. If you want to talk to just me, you can reach me at 631-839-3748. Mark Jarrett here. It's going to be a long hour, everyone. Do we have Neil Greenbaum in the house?
Neil Greenbaum is here, but I don't think he's on screen yet. Sort of.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking up and I see so many notifications. Like, oh, this person posted in the group of the Zoom, and I'm just like, I'm trying to have a Zoom. What's all these messages going on? Distracted a little, you know?
I have to ask you, Michael, how did you do that fancy business banner above your head?
I downloaded a background and added on that information, and it doesn't hurt to have a green screen behind you that you don't blend into the background. It helps.
Yes, I did learn about this, and I've seen people being on Zoom calls, and it just looks blurry if they don't have a green screen.
Right, and so if the green screen's too close, you actually get a green halo, but it's far enough away from me that I don't get that halo.
Oh, I thought that was your office. It looks beautiful. So
it's
Oh,
so
now I
okay. Okay, we're waiting for 3 more minutes for some more people to come in. We're expecting a few more.
I'm muted, yeah?
You're not. You're off now, Derek. You're unmuted.
Who's this, Derek?
Oh, hey, boys. Looking forward to gaining some knowledge.
Well, listen, you're a Mets fan, so the first knowledge is we only wear Yankee caps on this Zoom.
Look, you guys didn't do your typical selves this year, so we'll see.
Listen, we'll get better. We'll get better.
Most of the other New York teams are doing their typical self this year.
Yeah, I'm weird. I'm Mets, Giants, Knicks, so it's a weird combination.
Yeah, mostly Mets fans are usually Jets fans, so
Correct.
long-suffering Jet fan here. So.
Jet fan here too.
Wow.
I can get my Brett Favre signed picture and bring it out for you. That's how much of a Jets fan I have.
This is a torturous year.
Sanchez jersey, so I really know who's good at sports.
But you have one problem. You're an Islander fan, Mark. So that's another problem.
Oh, do you want me to take out my DiPietro jersey also?
No, thank you. We can pass on that.
Listen, I'm gonna put it on top of the clothes I'm wearing, so it's okay. I'm just gonna keep adding more and more clothes by the end of the day.
You're wearing the frozen tundra of Calgary, so that makes sense.
Okay, we have 60 seconds, so we may start a little bit early. Amazing. So today's event is going to be 1 hour. Right now in MST time, it is 10:09 a.m. In New York EST time with Michael Beer. It is 12 p.m. By Daniel, we just said it was 6, so it's 6:09 p.m. So that's the areas and the times. So thank you everyone for joining us on this exclusive 20th podcast and interview with Daniel Gillen and Michael Beer. Yeah, I just added the claps now. Leave WhatsApp number for anonymous questions, 631-839-3748. If you have a question for me, Michael Beer, or Daniel Gillen, you can reach me throughout the Zoom or even afterwards, and I will answer your questions, and I will not post or release your name unless you want us to. Okay, so let's start and have an intro with Daniel Gillen for a couple of minutes, and then we'll go to Michael Beer. So Daniel Gillen with that fancy microphone, oh my gosh. Like that's the size. It's the size of my coffee cup.
It's pretty big.
Tell us, what are you about? Where are you from? What are you doing? And why are you a legal marketer?
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Mark. So my name is Daniel. I'm from the United Kingdom. I currently live in Greece. I have been working with law firms for 4 years. My first ever client was a law firm. And ever since that, I've just got more and more into it, worked with firms in the USA, Canada, Ireland, and the UK. Why I like law firms, two main reasons. One, legal cases tend to be relatively high ticket. So you can deploy quite a wide variety of techniques, and law firms are willing to invest a bit of time and money to win these cases. Where sometimes if a client has like a low ticket service, like for example, like gardeners or hairdressers or something, they have very little available to invest in the services. So I like working with law firms because it's worth it for them to invest enough time, energy, and money to try and win these cases. Secondly, I like working with law firms because I'm pretty good at it. I've been doing it now for 4 years. I've generated cases in criminal defense, conveyancing, immigration, commercial law, so many different areas. But I find the same techniques tend to work no matter what area we're working in. So I've got good at it. My clients like it, and it makes me happy because my clients, we don't have these difficult calls where they're like, oh, we're really struggling, it's not working. Instead, the clients are like, can we up the ad spend? What other things can we do? How can we grow this? So I guess it's just a combination of I've been doing it, I'm good at it, and I get good results. So I really enjoy the legal niche. It's a lot of fun, and it does change a lot as well. So it keeps you on your toes.
Wow. So let me just give a quick response to that. Your first client was a legal firm. That is amazing, and I'll tell you why. This is about my 4.2 years in the business of doing social media marketing, digital marketing, direct mailing, and it took me about maybe 100 or so people to go through in order to figure out, I want lawyers. I don't want anyone else unless they're in real estate or, apps or any other high performing business like doctors. I had a successful ad this week. Crazy, $1 a message, less than $1, 50 cents Canadian per message for interested patients. I'm blown away. So the higher the ticket, the more likely you'll do well because, listen, it's a very, very interested service. Everyone needs lawyers. Everyone needs doctors. Everyone needs accountants. Everyone needs an app if you want to survive now in 2020 plus. You see, I have this drone behind me. It's innovative. Apps, innovative. So people are going to continue to invest. And who are the ones who are investing in apps? They're lawyers, doctors, big real estate brokerages. So that's where the focus needs to be. It's a shame that we can't help as many small businesses as we can, but even I've seen some success that's a little bit more affordable on Facebook ads for the smaller businesses. Maybe it doesn't relate the same. What do you say? Like, have you seen mostly larger law firms, or at least small to medium, doesn't matter. A law firm's a law firm, invest in Google ads per se over Facebook ads? Or what have you seen after someone spends with you on Google? If they done well, do they just continue investing? Do they look for more places? Or if they haven't done well, do they ask you, can you advertise somewhere else for less?
From talking to you and learning more about your Facebook approach, it does seem in many ways that is a very suitable arena for companies or firms with kind of lower budgets. Like I say to clients, they always ask me, like, what budget should I start with on Google Ads? I say $1,000 a month. Any less than that, and you're not going to be able to give it a fair try. And for some people, $1,000 is, it's a big investment and it being unproven, they might be unwilling to do it. And from my understanding of the kind of approaches you take and stuff, you could probably start people off with quite a bit less than $1,000 and show them some
Depends on the ad.
That's what I understand from what you do. So I do think that's the difference. Perhaps Facebook, with an innovative approach, with your kind of, use of organic shares and stuff, perhaps can start off a bit lower. A law firm, especially, I would say, you have to put in a reasonable amount of money to try different things. And that can be a bit of a barrier to some people.
So I just want to answer back. You said something very interesting, organic. So I want to explain what the word organic means. So LinkedIn, for example, is a social media where everyone believes they can get more business, and it's fully organic because the ads really kind of suck and no one really invests in them. So everyone's like, wow, it's so good. I'm Derek Jeter, I can go on, or I'm Alex Rodriguez, I can go on in 10 seconds. I'm famous on LinkedIn, and boom, I got a new person to work for me. Awesome, I rock this platform. But we're not all Derek Jeters. I'm wearing a Yankee cap as I say that. We're not all Derek Jeters. So it's very difficult to shine, and there's only so few that shine that you need to invest. But Facebook ads still has some organic reach. It's known as Facebook groups, and it's known as regular profiles, your stories, and Facebook groups have over 1 billion users. So there's 2 billion people on Facebook, 1 billion on Facebook groups alone. So that platform is bigger than basically LinkedIn and Twitter combined. So it's no force. There's a guy, Gary V, very important to search that name, at Gary V, G-A-R-Y-V-E-E. And he says in his book, Crush It, I started reading it, he says that Facebook is a number one. He said it maybe 1, 2, or 3 times, and he says YouTube, Twitter, he says podcasts, self-branding. I know Michael Beer had a podcast, and he's running that podcast. He has a YouTube channel. You can check him out. Beer Traffic Law on YouTube. It's educational, and his new branding, Traffic Ticket Professor, where he's actually teaching us about the type of law that he does. And I'm not going to speak so much about Michael because we're focused on you, Daniel. We'll speak about Michael in a few minutes. But to answer you, with organic reach on Facebook, it's not just solely organic reach that could be relied on. It used to be kind of like that. I've reached over 200,000 people on one campaign with my former partner. We reached 250,000 people. He reached 40,000 paid. I reached 210,000 unpaid. So I kind of was the driving force, but in most cases, you want a hybrid car. You know, my driving teacher, when he taught me, he had a hybrid car. Why? Because he wants to spend less, but he wants gas and electric. So Facebook groups is the electricity. It's what keeps the lights on Facebook and keeps people active. But if you don't spend money on your ads, you will not make it. You will not make it on Twitter. You will not make it on Facebook. You will not make it on Instagram. LinkedIn ads suck, but you will not make it on those 3 main platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, which are specialties that I can run ads to and directly pinpoint who you want, just like Daniel's able to pinpoint search engines. If he's dealing with a personal injury law firm and someone types in personal injury lawyer near me or car accident lawyer, he's going to pop up first because Daniel knows his stuff when it comes to people searching to use a business that second. But that's just to answer you a little bit. When you said the word organic, I get very excited. I built my first Facebook group 11 years ago. So sorry, I took over a little bit. But Daniel, do you have any questions for me or for any of the attending lawyers? We have a traffic ticket lawyer here. We have a legal marketer. We have a criminal defense lawyer in Calgary. We have a commercial real estate lawyer in Florida. And we have a real estate professional locally in Calgary. And we do have an app developer in Manhattan, Zohar of Sweet Cherry Tech, also available to speak to.
Yeah,
Mark, so Derek asked a question also, if you want to just check the chat.
Yeah. Sure. What was the question, Derek? If you can turn off your mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was able to hear you. Yeah. And then I went mute.
Am I the only one who can't hear anybody?
There's no one talking. I was waiting for Derek to ask his question.
I've unmuted myself.
Ask one more time.
Can you
Derek,
have
the
a-
floor is yours. What was your question?
yeah, can you hear me? I keep saying that I'm.
Yeah, can you hear?
Oh, I was saying you have an organic model that's working. Why not build up your presence in your Facebook group using a landing page with Facebook ads?
So great question. I'm going to answer your question, then we're going to go straight to Michael Beer for his intro. So basically, you're right on. You're right on pinpoint. You're probably one of 2 or 3 people that understand it so well to ask such a smart question. So I give you kudos to ask such a thing. So there is a chance to promote Facebook groups in Facebook ads. There is a way to do it. You have to know how to do it. You have to have been doing it for a long time. I've pulled it off many times. It's very interesting to do, but there's a flaw, and that flaw is people don't understand to click on it and join the group. So the amazing thing is there is a visit group button on Facebook pages that you could put on to add your Facebook group so you can instantly join. I have put in a request, and I'll say that quick request story. I said, hey, Facebook, if I was the New York Yankees and I wanted to open up a Facebook group, New York Yankees fans, on my Facebook page, New York Yankees, you're telling me that I can't start a Facebook ad to grow my group and overnight have 20, 50, or 100,000 members and have 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 email addresses, 5,000 physical addresses, and have a huge campaign and benefit out of this Facebook group for no additional costs. They never responded, but you know, that's what I wrote. But I hope that answers your question, but right on, and please check out my groups. You could text me at 631-839-3748. I will send you the link to my Facebook page, Groups Rewards. That is a project I'm working on. Hopefully I'll turn that into an app soon and get 1 billion users on it. That's the goal, right? So I agree, Facebook groups very important, and members should be rewarded for their activity, for liking, commenting, and sharing. Okay, so thanks for that question, Derek and Daniel. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit about yourself and your background. We'll get back to you a little bit at the end of the Zoom to chat a little bit more. So Michael Beer, quick intro, Michael Beer. Why? Don't answer until I finish all of my long questions, Michael. Why traffic ticket professor? Whose idea was it? Are you actually a professor? Why traffic law? What success have you had pre-COVID on social media?
Okay, so first let me introduce myself. I'm Michael Beer, and I'm a New York-based traffic ticket defense attorney. This is my 28th year doing this. So I've been doing this for a long time, and I've seen the marketing of this type of business change over the last almost 28 years. So what has changed? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
I said this, Mark froze, okay. So first, let me give you a history on legal marketing. Up until 1976, lawyers were prohibited by ethics rules from marketing at all. And basically, in those days, you hung out a shingle, and you graduated law school. You hung out a shingle and Field of Dreams. You hung out your shingle, and they will come, and they will, and you'll have clients. And that drastically changed in '76 when there was a case that allowed legal marketing. But again, it was very ethics rules driven, and you could only do very specific and finite things. Yellow pages advertising a little bit, and things like this, and like that. And when I first started doing this in '93. Early '93, marketing wasn't really something on anybody's focus. You know, you stood in court, people walked up to you, you got business. And then I started using Yellow Pages advertising, and that was the one of the driving forces of marketing in the early '90s, and that transitioned over to other types of marketing, newspaper ads or magazine ads or things like that. And as time went on, some of the rules loosened up also. New York State had some very strict marketing rules for lawyers, and they've limited them now. So there's less rules, but still all ethics driven. You can't do anything that's dishonest, deceitful. You can't do things that are not accurate. You can't make claims that you can't support. So you have to do things according to ethics. So what am I been doing lately? Well, I'm doing some of the traditional things that Dan mentioned, but I've started to do other things. So traffic professor, how did that come about? Well, I was in a meeting with Neil Greenbaum, who's on the group today, and Neil found out that I'm actually was a college professor. I taught at John Jay College in Manhattan for several years. That's the school that teaches cops and others it's a college that's mostly criminal justice based. And Neil said to me, "Wait, you're a college professor? You should be the traffic professor." And that dawned on me, and I bought the web address trafficticketprofessor.com, and so we built this website, and it's rolled out a couple of weeks ago. But why did I get into traffic law? Well, from 1991 when I graduated law school until 93, I was working in the construction litigation industry, and the market fell out of that in the early 90s, and needing to find a new job. I had a relative who was a retired traffic court judge who was defending people in traffic court by then, and suggested that there's plenty of fish in the sea, come cast your nets and you can join us in fighting tickets, and I've been doing that ever since. Pre-COVID, I was doing a mixture of things, but last November I met Mark Jarrett from SMG, and Mark Jarrett proposed a mixed approach, which we started processing in November, involving Facebook ads, Facebook groups, social media posts like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And we were doing that pretty aggressively November, December, January, February. Then came March.
How many members did you get in the Facebook group?
So the Facebook group is We Fight Traffic Tickets. We're at about 450 members in that group right now, approximately.
Did we get any contact from that 450 members?
I'm sorry, say that again. Did we get what?
Did we get any contacts, email addresses, or phone numbers, or WhatsApp numbers?
So in order to join the group, you have to answer several questions.
Okay.
And by getting those questions answered, you can then join the group. That group was linked up with a WhatsApp group, so you could join both or either. And so we were getting phone numbers by having people join the WhatsApp group. Although that's sort of petered out now, and we're focusing more on the Facebook and the WhatsApp groups that we've been doing. So I call this more of an inbound marketing approach than an outbound marketing approach, where I'm getting out information to people, but not in your face. It's not really in your face. It's educational. It's informational. From the second week of March until the end of July, I was sending out a weekly video blog of the status of traffic court in New York City, the status of tickets in New York City. We did it several ways. We posted it on Facebook, we posted it on LinkedIn, we posted it on Instagram. We posted it in a MailChimp weekly email that we were sending out to a group. So we had a holistic approach to this, but all inbound. We were giving people information. We weren't. Yeah. It was all inbound, content driven marketing that way. About 2 months ago, when Neil brought up this idea, we started discussing a new website that I was going to build called Traffic Ticket Professor. Now, most of my colleagues are doing the traditional informational websites, and I wanted to do something different. And so
you did.
We did. So we went with a different approach, and we built a website that some of you have seen already. It's trafficticketprofessor.com, and it's a filter type website. But the first step is you download my ebook. And the ebook is educational. It teaches you about the different types of courts that are involved with traffic tickets, the different consequences of traffic tickets, the different systems of courts, the different consequences, and the different ways to handle traffic tickets. Basically, the purpose of it is to show you that even though traffic tickets seem simple, they're kind of difficult to deal with on your own, and you want a professional who knows what they're doing to help you to navigate through that labyrinth of courts that you have to deal with when you're dealing with traffic tickets. So,
quick question, Michael.
Yes.
When you say it's an ebook, it's educational, what's the title of this ebook?
Good question. The ebook is Traffic Ticket University. So
Really?
the professor.
Do you have a cover? Could you show us on the Zoom? Can we see a cover? Do you have it on your computer?
So we have it as part of the. Like. We have it as part of the ad for the event. I'm gonna screen share.
Cool. Let's see.
So this is the cover. It's a little small, I guess.
Could you zoom in?
I can't from this spot here, but let me.
It looks good though.
That's the cover of the book, and if you download it, let me see if I can get it on the screen another way. It's a downloadable book, and you can get it sent to you. And I just gotta find it here. Ask.
The Traffic Ticket University teaches me about traffic tickets, what I'm going up against, the different types of tickets, like if it's a speeding ticket or stop sign, cell phone, and Mark. I mean all the stuff that you've taught me about, you know?
Right, exactly, Mark. So I'm going to share the cover of the book here. So this is that's the first page of the book. Let's go back to the beginning. So this is the book. The cover is what you've seen on the ad for the event, and it's a 15-page ebook that gives information, as I said, about what I do, how I do it, and what's involved. So we've tried to make it an educational opportunity to learn about me, about traffic tickets, and what one needs to do to fight them.
A quick question, Michael.
Yes.
Sorry, I have so many questions. I always want to learn. I think we have an attendee here. Let's see. I'm just looking at her name. No, she's not here. She had to go. But there's someone who I spoke to. Oh, there it is. That's the book, everyone. But there was a woman I know. She's a realtor. She's a client of mine, and she's a real estate agent or associate, however way they call it. And she got a traffic ticket she got a ticket for speeding. She was doing, you know what, I'm not going to say the speed because I feel bad. But she was doing 27 over the speeding allowance. It was in, I believe, also a construction zone. It was a $226 ticket. And I referred her to a paralegal in Calgary because in Calgary, the paralegals go to court. In New York, you have lawyers who go to court. So she's able to fight it. If it's $226 and the paralegal's fee to fight it is $250, is it worth the gamble for her to have the paralegal go? Or is it just better to just pay the ticket? Why not just pay the ticket, Michael?
So I think the issue is not only the underlying ticket cost; it's the ancillary consequences that go along with a ticket.
Like
so,
what?
For example, in New York, you can get points for a ticket. Points translate into assessment fees. Points translate into possible suspensions. Points translate into insurance consequences. So there are ancillary consequences other than just the money that you have to pay for the ticket. So you have to take all of those things into account. Now, obviously, if somebody comes to me and my fee is going to exceed the full and total consequences of that ticket, I'm honest with them. I'm going to tell them, listen, you know, I could fight it for you, but really you're spending as much or more on me than you would be on the ticket. But that's very infrequent. Most tickets have ancillary consequences that make the cost of the ticket significantly in excess of my fee. So that's what's very becoming of my service, is that I can try to either defeat or mitigate that ticket for a client and save them the consequences, and my fee will be significantly less than those total consequences if things work out the way they want.
I know that your main type of ticket is from Uber drivers and truckers. I know that's a different ballpark. Can you give us an idea of like some of the most expensive tickets, the craziest things that you've had to fight? And if you've won them, how did you win? And how did they respond to that, to your clients?
Well, first, if you read my ebook, you'll learn that there's so many different types of courts. Courts that allow plea bargaining, courts that don't allow plea bargaining. So every system is different, and you have to know how to navigate. So let's use, for example, New York City doesn't allow plea bargaining. So anybody who gets a ticket in New York City, if they want to fight it, they have to go to trial. So I do hundreds of trials every week fighting tickets. And so, and I fight with police officers who are probably the most aggressive witnesses you can ever encounter. So I've handled everything from a basic seatbelt ticket to 120 mile an hour over the speed limit speeding tickets over the last 28 years. So I've seen it all and then some. So there's lots of different things that I've done and lots of different cases. I also handle fatality hearings where if you're involved with a fatal accident in New York State, the DMV investigates to see whether or not your actions contributed to the death of somebody, and they can suspend or revoke your license. And I handle a lot of those. You mentioned trucking. Another system, not the traffic court system, the criminal court system handles trucking tickets in New York State. So again, it's a multifaceted business with different types of courts. So I go to criminal court, I go to traffic court, I go to local village courts, I go to city courts in White Plains, Long Beach, Glen Cove on Long Island, all different types of places. So it's a multifaceted business. You have to know your niche, and you have to know all these different places. It's not just a one court business. So that's why my ebook that we were talking about spells all this out, and why you really need probably the help of a professional to and not jump in on your own and deal with this.
Well, I'll tell you one quick story, and then I think we'll ask for some questions to you. If anyone has any questions for Michael Beer or myself and they want to keep it anonymous, you can reach me at 631-839-3748. So Michael, let me tell you a quick story. I got a traffic ticket. Let's not talk about what it was, besides for the $120 mile per hour drive that was me in a Lamborghini. But besides for that, true story. But we'll not talk about that in this Zoom. I'm so caught on that because I'm looking at the picture of the Lamborghini above me. I just want to show it off once. So I took this picture. It was actually a Lamborghini Evo. This is about a $250,000 car. I took some drone shots and I actually drove it. We're not going to talk about how fast I drove it, but you didn't
get a ticket while you were driving it. So that's
I was driving the slowest. I can say what the general manager was driving. He was driving about 300 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
And he was in a $350,000 car, a Lamborghini Urus. So let me tell you the quick story. I went to go pay a traffic ticket. Short story. I got a parking ticket while paying the traffic ticket. So
that happens.
Beer. You know why? Train, he gets 50, 100 cases, and he does it because that's what he does for a living. Don't be.
I've had people who got a traffic ticket on their way to fight their traffic ticket, so it happens many times. You're not the only one.
That's crazy. So we have a few people. I'll just give some quick shout outs. We have me, Mark Jarrett, Michael Beer, Daniel Gillen, Derek Mullins, Mike Gluckstein, Neil Greenbaum, and Terry Steffens. If any of you have any questions, please ask away. Now is the time. You could WhatsApp me. Okay, here. Have a question. You won't see the number, but I got a notification. Have a few questions. Okay, let's see. Let me read. I'm not going to say who it is.
And I did unmute, so once you're done with this, I can have people ask questions. Go ahead.
Sure. So let me answer this real quickly. So can you mention how these type of campaigns affect branded search? So imagine you're doing a Facebook page and Facebook group, Traffic Ticket Professor. If I type in Traffic Ticket Professor will eventually pop up because the group is active, the page is active, we're constantly posting hashtags. You click on the hashtag, it'll take you to the page, you'll see the group. So it does affect it on social media. So when someone says, do you do SEO? I answer technically no, because it's normally a Google question. Daniel will probably nod his head, but in my world, SEO is also existing on social media. So if someone types in social media guru, my social media guru 365 will pop up because I'm so active. I've done thousands and thousands of posts. So that will affect how people find you with the research questions. Another question from the same. Wow. Okay. So this guy tells me $35 for traffic ticket lawyer on Google, but lawyer name plus brand. I guess that means per click. Just confirm with me. Does that mean per click, $35? Please answer. Okay, $35. if we ask Michael, he may say that's a good deal, but I know I brought in messages, like in conversations, and I have physically gotten Michael, we work together, I've physically gotten him people to send their traffic ticket via the Facebook page. You can't send a traffic ticket via Google. Daniel, don't worry, I'm not blasting on you. It's okay. But understand that Facebook is very different than Google. I will tell you that no one is looking for a traffic ticket. Hey, Vicky, no one is looking for a traffic ticket lawyer. Don't get a ticket. Michael can't fight it. He doesn't have an app yet. But if you get if you get a traffic ticket educated throughout the world, then maybe it would be good for Google. If someone needs a personal injury lawyer, I will 100% tell you, I will have the most difficult time trying to get you a personal injury case because it's a lottery. Daniel Gillen will get you more lottery tickets than I will. So that's a place where Daniel Gillen will do much better than social media, because listen, if I, God forbid, or someone, God forbid, got into an accident, they look traffic ticket, and they look personal injury lawyer, and they find one. No one's looking for traffic ticket lawyers unless they're getting $1,000 fines, because no one knows that such a thing exists. People are uneducated. They don't know. So this is why we have a traffic ticket professor. He was actually a professor. Educate us. He's really a lawyer, but he's a professor educating us what a traffic ticket is. So he has done phenomenal on Facebook, and he's going to continue doing phenomenal. If he attempts to do Google ads again and do a special rate with Daniel Gillen, I'm sure he will still be successful, because we're going to just produce the most beautiful name, traffic ticket professor. He will be one of those big names that people go to.
And I'll just comment. I've had people send me tickets through through Facebook Messenger. They'll ask a question. I'll say, send me a ticket, and 5 minutes later, that ticket's in my Google Messenger. So it's definitely a tool for communication and conversation outside of the group. Once they see the group and they find out about me, we communicate privately and quietly outside the group.
You know, you get a personal injury case, I think Daniel will agree, it could be a multi-million-dollar case, it could be a couple $100,000, traffic ticket, you'll continue to, listen, if they're bad drivers, you'll continue to see them. You've told me you've had people you haven't seen in 13 years. They're like, Michael, I got a ticket. And you're like, okay, yep. Hello. And you have people who say, okay, we got 7, we got 20, we got 50 tickets this month.
I have people that I haven't seen in years, and they come back, and I have people that come to me every month. So it's all different kinds of drivers out there.
Very fun. So we have another 2 minutes with Michael. If anyone has any questions for him or myself, please ask if you want to say something. Okay.
So, Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so you were talking about yesterday. I got this video from you, and I saw his little blurb about, send me your ticket. So I contacted you, and you laughed your head off at me. And I'm in Canada. I'm in Calgary with Mark. And he was saying if you had some kind of app, you could have helped me. How does that work?
Wait, I don't think that's a question for Michael Beer.
No,
I think that's really more of a question for Zohar Sion. So Zohar, App Development Shop, VP of Blue Cherry Tech, please take the line and get us involved in some apps. Talk to us quickly. How would that have helped?
Zohar, are you there?
Zohar?
How's everybody doing?
Good, Zohar.
Great. So I'm sorry, I missed the last snippet of what you said.
Okay, so I'm in Calgary, and he's a U.S. traffic ticket lawyer. But Mark was saying that if he had some kind of app, he could have helped me fight my ticket in Canada too. Is that true?
So, I mean, as far as legality goes, I personally wouldn't know if you can make that happen, but I know with a mobile application, I mean, you could outreach with the touch of a button millions of people, from my personal experience. Just to kind of give you a little bit more background about who I am, what I do. So as Mark said, you know, I'm into tech. You know, we build mobile applications for small businesses to large businesses. We've worked with companies like Tommy Hilfiger, Calvin Klein, and we've also worked with small startups. But ideally, you know, tech is such a big industry, and it's such, especially now in these uncertain times, you know, you can be reaching, again, millions of people by a touch of a button. So I'm not sure if I answered the question, but I guess it makes things just a little bit more.
Zohar, we may have lost a little connection, but I think I'll take over. So basically, Zohar is explaining that you can reach millions of people at a push of a button. So Michael, if we were able to get a paralegal to download your app, Traffic Ticket Professor, or if it was Traffic Tickets to Go, or whatever name you came up with, and someone downloaded that app, if Vicky downloaded the app and there was a paralegal nearby who can fight it, and you got a small cut from it, it would be a brilliant idea. You never have to say no to a traffic ticket again in any area outside of New York. The answer will always be yes.
So we've got to sit down and have a conversation with Zohar now. That's the answer.
No, more than that. Because when you do something, you do it right, and you get all of the right people involved. So if you actually have a traffic ticket app, like you explained to me, you said you've gone to the criminal courts, you need to have a criminal defense lawyer on there. You need to have a Friday Moldavsky in Calgary. So if God forbid, if Vicky was drinking and driving, just kidding. If someone was drinking and driving and they got a ticket, so they can get the ticket fought by you if they were speeding, and they can have the criminal defense lawyer on the app also fight it, or even the personal injury lawyer. I think Daniel will agree that traffic tickets and personal injury with cars, trucks, and criminal lawyers, all three of them are really a unit. So I haven't seen an app on the market, Zohar, that exists for this. So if Michael attempted it, I think he'd be extremely successful. Neil Greenbaum, if you're there, do you have anything to add? I always want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
If you're in Canada and you want to reach me,
it's okay. As long as it's legal, it's great.
That's the question, and how the reach is, and
I don't think it is.
Practicing law in other states, I understand that.
It's not in the state. I mean, listen, I'm admitted in only 2 states, but I do plenty of work in other states because I do transactions and contracts.
Right.
And it's not like practicing law. I'm not going to court. I'm definitely not doing anything in Canada. You know, I mean, I would do a cross-border transaction, but I'm in the United States. One client will be in the United States. One client might be in Canada. But it's not the same as representing somebody in court. That's a real no-no when it comes to practicing.
Right. Transactional is much different, 100%.
Quick ethical question for Neil and Michael. So let's just say there was a paralegal that downloaded the app and she was to represent someone.
The paralegal can't represent
Michael,
paralegal is not a lawyer.
In Calgary or in Alberta, they can. They are able to. So I'm saying it's a little bit of a unique scenario. So you may have some paralegals who are the ones defending.
Do they have to work for areas?
Huh?
Do they have to work for lawyers?
No.
Then what Michael Beer should be doing right now is opening up an office in Canada and employing paralegals, and he can.
Correct. So paralegals are the ones who are able to fight it here, so they're able to match your low prices, Michael, because they already do it for low fees. Right. So that's why people don't hire a traffic ticket lawyer in Calgary, because it doesn't exist. There aren't any Michael Beers in the entire Alberta. They do not exist. So that's pretty much what I can say from that situation. But here's my question for Michael and Neil. So if you had a paralegal, they're on the app, everything's kosher, everything's good. The question is, could Michael take a percentage from a different location, cancel that out? Why can't Michael just charge a fee? So when they fight a ticket, if it's a $200 ticket that they charge the client, if they win, if they don't win, whatever parameters happen afterwards, if they get their money back or however way it works, if they win, you don't get however way it does. Why can't it just work? $50 service charge. It's a service fee. It's nothing to do with percentage. It's just a $50 fee. Why can't that be good? If Michael gets 1 million of those a year, he'll employ all of us.
It could be construed as a legal referral fee. I can't practice law in another state. I can't
In-app
take fees.
purchases. Zohar, are you there? Tell Michael about in-app
Seattle and
purchases.
Arizona just passed laws. You can now practice in Seattle and Arizona. I'm pretty sure it's going to be several other states in the near future where you do not actually have to be an attorney, a practicing attorney, and you could own a law firm. So it will be expanding like that.
Right, and you mentioned off the record there's several of those types of websites and apps that are ticket based. There might be some technical ethical issues with those if they're run by non-lawyers. If non-lawyers are accepting legal fees for legal work, lawyers splitting fees with non-lawyers. So those have some issues of ethical consequence also that have to be sorted out. And one of those services in Florida was actually banned by in Florida. So there are issues with those types of things, particularly the ones that are
something to think about. Because if Zohar can pull it off and he can make a beautiful app, Zohar, could you quickly tell us for 60 seconds about in-app purchases? What that means? Listen, Zohar's really busy. I don't know. Listen, you want to get something done, you give it to a busy person. That's for sure. So I think we're going to give the floor back to Daniel Gillen for a few minutes. And then I'll take it back over for the last 5 minutes. So Daniel, what do you think? Do you think that you can help Michael Beer with his Google ads and help the traffic ticket professor get out there at an affordable cost?
Well, see, there are some legal niches that Google Ads isn't always suited for. And to be honest, traffic ticket to me is one that's perhaps borderline, because I'm presuming that, the value of the case to Michael Beer probably isn't as high as, say, like for a commercial lawyer or a personal injury lawyer, etc. And that's why Google Ads has its limitations. Because if you're running Google Ads, like if say your target term, to make it very simple, includes the term lawyer. So for example, if I'm running ads on traffic ticket lawyer, I'm competing with other law firms who might just be targeting lawyer as a term. So although no one wants to be spending $30, $40 a click on, traffic ticket lawyer New York or whatever, like just by the fact that it's got lawyer in the term, it's going to drive that cost up, which means for a lot of people promoting legal services, it's just not worth it, or you've got to try different approaches. And one thing a lot of people aren't that aware of is that Google Ads is not just only the search engine ads. It is usually where the majority of spend is, but Google does have a display network called the Google Display Network. It has YouTube. They even start showing ads within apps, within Gmail, and other things on your phone. So there is a wider ecosystem you can run ads to. One really cool trick we developed within the personal injury space is that, personal injury lawyer clicks can be so high. They can be $100 a click or even higher sometimes. And for a lot of people, they just don't want to pay that. That's too high. So what we do is we create what's called a custom audience in Google Ads. And what we do is we get a client and we get all their competitors' websites, and we put 20 of those competitors in, and then Google creates an audience out of people who have visited one of those websites, and then we run display ads against that audience. And because display ads are very, 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 very cheap, much less than $1 a click often, it allows us to target ads against people who have been visiting or searching for personal injury-related searches. So perhaps for the traffic lawyer approach, the Google Display Network could be a better place to run ads on, because then you're not competing with people spending, $20, $30 a click, which if you're selling a very high ticket service is fine. So yeah, Google Ads could work, but you got to be a bit more innovative, I think, and use the wider Google Ads ecosystem, rather than just get into this auction with all the other law firms. Because if it's a high ticket service, then that auction is fine, and you'll probably still come out way out on top. But if it's a lower ticket service, then it's not often worth, bidding with people like that.
And I found in traffic tickets, there's a lot of competition. And the more competition, the more Google charges for that space. And that seems to be what's what's keeping me back from really spending the money on the Google ads because of that high per click cost for my space. So
that sounds accurate. I'll take back over. Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you, Michael. Just give a shout out to everyone who's here. Let me get, Mark Jarrett, Michael Beer, Daniel Gillen, Derek Mullins, Vicky Luke, Mike Luxing, Neil Greenbaum, Terry Steffens. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are in Canada and you want to reach me, because you see I have my snow cap, you can reach me and ask your questions for the next 5 minutes or even afterwards at 403-671-0365. You can reach me on WhatsApp, or you can just text me and you'll be able to get in touch. I'm really shocked that my drone lights have stayed on this entire time. Wow, that battery. It's supposed to last 15 minutes. I guess they lied to me when they sold it to me. It lasts a little bit longer, so that's been pretty cool. For those who don't see, this is actually a drone. And if you look at the back of my t-shirt, I have a drone on it too. It's a new service that I'm offering for lawyers. The first lawyer I did a drone tour for, I got pulled over by police and security in front of the court system in downtown Calgary. I didn't end up getting a ticket. I ended up flying with the police officer there. So know the laws. Make sure that you are a certified drone pilot. If you are flying, you want to get a big piece of paper like this. Not like paper, it's a laminated piece of paper. These are all the parameters in order to fly a drone legally. If not, you could be getting a $1,000 fine. So they take it extremely seriously. It's not like if your dog takes a poo on the street and you pay $250. This is a $1,000 fine. This is a very big deal. So don't do it. Always hire a certified drone pilot for your legal marketing, to get aerial views of yourself walking to court, leaving court, in front of buildings like commercial buildings or warehouses or malls if you're a lawyer like Neil Greenbaum for commercial real estate. I have a quick question for Neil Greenbaum. I know he's a commercial real estate lawyer. Could you explain to us quickly what that entails?
Neil has left.
Okay, so I'll answer what Neil does. Neil basically gives out leases for people, and he says, make sure you know what you want, you put it in the lease. I'll make sure I write leases that write what you want. So it's very important. You can lose thousands of dollars if you don't pay attention. You can be in big trouble. A lease is a very complicated document. So he is a commercial real estate lawyer in Florida area and a few nearby states. Thank you all so much for coming. You can reach me again. We have another 3 minutes to ask or answer some questions. 403-671-0365. This is my Canadian number.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So to Michael or Mark or whoever wants to answer, what is the biggest challenge you're facing now during these times? A marketing challenge.
For me, I need a secretary.
I'll tell you that right now. I'm getting the traction. People are calling, people are emailing, but nobody wants to spend money.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm seeing now, is that there's a reluctance to spend money. There's a reluctance to make a commitment because nobody knows what tomorrow is going to bring. Here in America, and it looks like I'm the only one left from the U.S. that's left on this call right now. But with the election and the uncertainty and COVID, people are just afraid to make a decision right now. And so it takes a lot more effort to draw them in. But
well, that's why we're educating them, Michael.
Yeah, of course, exactly. Yeah,
that's the whole concept. If they learn about you, then you're going to be the guy that they call.
Okay.
So how do you sway them to spend money now, though, during these times with the
uncertainty? You have to convince them of the value of the service, the value of what you have to offer, and why it's so important to them. And sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't. You know, you can't beat a rock because if they don't want to give you the money, you can't beat it out of them. You have to move on to the next one.
Thank you.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Mark collaborate with, or like even contact a ton of real estate agents. Real estate agents are traveling around all the time, and a lot of them have heavy foots and lots of speeding tickets.
Wow.
There you
That's
go, Mark.
interesting. Michael,
We have to get into real estate Facebook groups. There we go. Real estate broker Facebook groups. That's
Listen,
the answer.
if I have 10 showings to go to, that means I'm going to get 10 speeding tickets, right, Vicky?
Yeah. And maybe if you have a referral for them for real estate, they can, keep sending you their traffic tickets.
And they can make sure that your insurance doesn't go up and you pay more for the insurance than your cars, right? Because that's what's going to happen with the insurance companies. Always pay your traffic ticket. I learned that from Michael Beer himself. Always pay it. I wish I knew Michael Beer earlier in my life.
Always
that's
pay
what I'm
it.
gonna say.
No, always fight it.
You know what?
Pay it. You go to the snack machine. I'm not going to pay it. I'm going to break it and take my candy bar. But do make sure you pay it and don't damage public property. You will go to jail. And then a Fry Moldavsky will have to bail you out. Only one jail free card for me, but no one else. I'm sorry.
Calgarians would just rather pay their ticket than go to court or go downtown and pay the parking.
You're too nice. You're too nice. You just want to pay you want to pay the insurance a little extra. You guys are just too nice. You have to be a little bit more aggressive like me, Michael.
Yeah, I guess we value our time and we just don't want to bother. Right?
But at the end of the day, those insurance rates go up and you end up paying so much money. Always fight that ticket. And I hope your traffic ticket gets fought. I put you in touch with a paralegal yesterday. Yeah. I hope she does her job. I mean, she's no Michael Beer, but I guess she's the only Michael Beer of Calgary. So hopefully she'll do really well.
Right.
Well, thank you everyone for coming. We have no more time for any questions. This was recorded and will go up on Michael Beer's YouTube channel, Beer Traffic Law. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.
Michael, please stay on.
How do I get off here? I'm trying to leave.
I'll remove you, Vicky. Okay.
Throw her off.
Okay, let me stop recording.